Can you imagine if you were the last of your species on Earth? Become the sole survivor of the 7.6 billion people from Earth. A solitary existence, where the chorus of your companions has fallen silent. The profound loneliness that blankets your soul, the sorrow that grips your heart, knowing you are the final echo of a once vibrant call that once be part of the world filled the forests, the skies, and the oceans. This isn't a tale spun from the threads of fiction, but a heart-wrenching reality that has been faced by many of the Earth's creatures as they stepped, unknowingly, into the annals of history. Today, we're journeying through the stories of those who sang their final songs, roamed their last great savannas, and soared through the skies for a final flight as the last of their kind. Join us as we pay homage to the lost voices of the wild, to understand their stories, to feel the weight of their absence, and to ignite a spark of hope to safeguard the future inhabitants of our shared planet. This is a voyage of remembrance and reflection. This is the chronicle of Earth's last solitaries. Our home, Earth, a mosaic of life in all its forms. From the tiniest insects that crawl beneath the soil, to the great whales that navigate the vast oceans, each species plays a pivotal role in the intricate web of life. But within this web, there are gaps, voids left by those who are no longer with us. In 1914, the world loses a soul who doesn't know she's the last of her kind. Martha, the final passenger pigeon, breathes her last in a Cincinnati zoo. Once, her ancestors darkened the skies with their numbers, a testament to nature's abundance. Yet, in a few short decades, they were gone, victims of unbridled hunting and deforestation. Martha, her story is a somber chapter in the history of natural science. She was named after Martha Washington, and her life marked the end of a species that once thrived in the billions across North America. The passenger pigeon was not just a bird, it was a natural phenomenon. Flocks were so immense they darkened the sky, sometimes for days. Observers from the 1800s described the spectacle as awe-inspiring, a pulsating force of nature that stretched as far as the eye could see. But, with European settlement, this spectacle became a target. The birds were hunted relentlessly for meat, for sport, and because they were seen as pests. As the 20th century dawned, their numbers had dwindled from billions to mere handfuls. Martha, a symbol of her species' tragic descent, was born into a world that no longer had a place for her kind. She lived her entire life at the Cincinnati Zoo, a living exhibit of a bygone era. Despite efforts to encourage her to breed, she remained the last, a lone figure in a cage. On September 1, 1914, Martha took her final breath. Her body was frozen in a 300-pound block of ice and sent to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., where it was carefully preserved. Even in death, Martha continued to draw the crowds, a haunting reminder of what had been lost. Martha's extinction called into question of humanity's relationship with nature. It became a rallying cry for conservation efforts and laid the foundation for modern wildlife protection laws. It was the end, but also a beginning, the start of a global awakening to the importance of preserving our natural heritage. Today, Martha resides at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History, no longer a solitary pigeon, but a messenger through time, urging us to remember and to act, so that no other species meets the same lonely fate. We cast our gaze now to the other side of the world, to the cool eucalypt forests of Tasmania, where a creature as enigmatic as it was misunderstood roamed. The Tasmanian tiger, or thylacine. The thylacine is a marsupial animal with the stripes of a tiger and the pouch of a kangaroo. It was a symbol of Tasmania's wild heart, a top predator that maintained the delicate balance of its ecosystem. But fear, superstition, and a bounty on its head led to its extinction. Farmers, eager to protect their sheep, as a result, they waged war against the thylacine. The government, swayed by public opinion, and sanctioned their killing. By the time the world recognized the thylacine's plight, it was too late. Benjamin, the last captive thylacine, spent his final days in the Hobart Zoo, a living ghost of his species. His death on September 7, 1936, marked the end of his kind. With him died not just a species, but the legacy of an entire lineage that traced back to the dawn of mammals. The story of the Tasmanian tiger is a stark lesson in humility and caution. It reminds us that our fear and misunderstanding can lead to irreversible consequences. It compels us to look beyond myths and misconceptions, to see the intrinsic value of every creature. Let the silent stripes of the thylacine remind us that conservation is not just about saving the few, but about respecting all life. May the shadow of the Tasmanian tiger compel us to preserve the wild, not only for ourselves, but for the future of all species that call our planet home. Though we cannot bring back the thylacine, we can honor its memory by protecting what remains of Tasmania's unique wildlife. We can tell the story of the tiger, not as a broken tale of regret, but as a continuous narrative that propels us to action. We now journey from the haunting echo of the thylacine's tale to the verdant, untouched canopies of Kauai, where another poignant story of loss unfolds. The tale of the Kauai Oo. The Kauai Oo was a bird of legend, its feathers a cloak of shadows and flames, its song a duet of longing and companionship. This bird was an artist of the air, and its melody a signature of the island's heart. The Kauai Oo's life was interwoven with the rich tapestry of Hawaiian flora and fauna, each note of its song threading through the dense foliage, echoing the vibrancy of the island's soul. But as the decades passed, this tapestry began to unravel. Habitat destruction, mosquito-borne diseases, and the introduction of alien species began to decimate the Kauai Oo's numbers. Conservationists raced against time, but one by one, the songbirds fell silent until only one male remained. In 1987, a lone male was recorded, singing a duet in hopes of a reply that would never come. It was a love song and a lament, all rolled into one, a call to a mate that had vanished like mist over the Na Pali cliffs. He was the last voice of his kind, a voice that echoed through the forests and reached out into the world, even as it faded into the stillness of extinction. This male, the last Ko-I-O, was never seen again.